get Titus Winans, the rookie from Fresno State, for their first points of the night. Fruit of the Loom halftime coming up. The Eagles up by 1, 7-6. You know, last week the Redskins had 110 yards in total offense. They had 80 on that last 2-minute drive.
Well, you know, it was a couple of perfect throws there, I think, by Heath Schuler. The first one I thought would set it all up was the one to Desmond Howard. Now, remember, Desmond Howard had not caught a pass in 2 weeks. But when they needed him, they had him matched up with McMillan. Here was the throw. It was a perfect throw. He screened the defensive back out. Now, this was poor coverage by Smith, number 30. But again, Schuler got the ball there, just threw it right over the top of the guy.
And Titus Winans, his first NFL touchdown catch, the rookie. And here's tonight's Riders game summary as you look at the first 5 drives, and then that last drive kind of pumps up the numbers a little bit.
Yeah, that's what you count on. I mean, it's a working process. We keep talking about Heath Schuler. His teammates learn a little bit more about the way he handles a situation like that, and he handled it very well.
He's going into the locker room feeling a lot better about himself. You wonder how Chip Lohmiller must feel, and you wonder how big that missed point after is going to be. Speaking of Lohmiller, he will kick off the second half. Seidner's going to bring it out. Seidner out to the 20, spins off of a man to the 22-yard line. He was about 2-3 yards deep in the end zone when he brought that one out. Well, you think of all the numbers that the Eagles threw up in this first half, and to have only 7 points, they had a lot of offense just to get into the end zone one time.
Well, the Redskins defense did their job. I mean, and in particular, Ken Harvey did his job. I mean, he stripped Randall Cunningham of the ball twice.
So Cunningham and company will start this drive at the 22.5-yard line. Garner, the running back, the lead back is Herschel Walker.
I think they need to get back feeding the ball to Charlie Garner.
And as you speak, Garner gets the football, able to move it out to the 25. Bobby Wilson, number 94, to make the stop. That's 70 yards now for Garner on 16 carries. There's big Bobby Wilson, number 1 draft pick, who still hasn't really lived up to that pick.
Well, you know, he's always been hurt. This is his 4th year. He's never played a full 16-game schedule. Remember when they drafted him a few years ago, they thought that he could be a real anchor on the defensive line, but injuries have prevented him from doing it.
There's the injuries. Back and knee. Second down now. 8 yards to go. Cunningham with time over the middle. Herschel Walker. Pretty good defense by Ken Harvey. Harvey's everywhere. Number 57 is really playing a whale of a football game.
Yeah, you see him rushing the passer twice, but that's not all he can do. And at that time, good coverage out of the backfield on his guy. We've seen him play the run pretty well. When you have a linebacker like that can make some things happen, he can really be a spark to a defense. I think it was in the first half, and they're looking for another big play, maybe a turnover from Ken Harvey again. Starting to rain again here at Veterans Stadium. 3rd down and 8. Barnett in motion. Cunningham, and the catch is made, and that'll be a first down grab to Barnett, the man he put in motion. 12-yard pickup on the play. Fred Barnett is strong, and he's confident. And remember, he and Randall Cunningham and Calvin Williams have all played together for 5 years now, and they know exactly what the other guy's going to do. And it's one thing running routes and coming open, Gary, but you have to come open at the right time. And when you watch Barnett, he comes open at the right time. Just when Cunningham's ready to release, that's when he's open, not before. Well, that trio's been together 5 years, and it shows. First down from the 37. This time he dumps it out. Garner able to advance the ball to the 44-yard line, a couple of yards short of the first down. That's another advantage to this Garner. He can catch the ball. He proved that last week with a 28-yard grab. A couple of catches here tonight. He'll fit in very well, obviously, in the run and the pass for Philadelphia. The thing about Charlie Garner here is you're going to watch him coming out here is watch the extra yards, a couple of extra yards he gets after he gets hit. I mean, one of the things tonight, he has squeezed everything out of every play that's been presented to him. Here he is trying to squeeze another play, and a very good play that time by Tony Woods. Woods, number 98. Who played for so many years with the Seattle Seahawks, 6 years to be exact. Last year with the Rams. He's an undersized guy, but they really like the way he gets upfield. Very explosive first step. It's starting to rain again, Gary, pretty hard, and think about Heath Schuler a little bit. I mean, when you're a quarterback in the NFC East, you had better get ready to play and play well in bad weather. I
don't know how much he got it out of Knoxville, but he's going to get a lot of it in the NFC East.
They're down and 2. Cunningham almost made a remarkable catch. Calvin Williams going up high, just couldn't quite get there. Andre Collins dropping back from his linebacker spot on the coverage. It'll bring up a 4th down and still 2 yards to go.
Yeah, again, the Redskin defense did their job, Gary. Opening drive, the second half, they're forcing an Eagle punt. So they continue to play well.
Berger, who punted in Colorado, he had some of this kind of weather, don't you think?
Yeah.
And he almost had that block. Johnny Thomas ran up in his face and almost had a chance of blocking. That looked like he may have pulled up. It's not a good punt. It goes to the 22-yard line.
All right, Johnny Thomas, number 41 for the Redskins, has had a couple of almost tonight. Remember, he almost downed the ball on the 1-yard line, and then number 41 almost blocks this punt right up the middle. He had a chance. Oh, he stopped. He slowed down. He could have blocked that easily. Oh, man. Could have had that one.
7-6. The Eagles with the lead. The Redskins with the football. They'll start now from the 21-yard line. Johnny Thomas, we're all mystified why he held up. Looked like he had a sure block on Mitch Berger. John Jenkins comes in motion. A handoff to Urbans, and Urbans brings it to 25. Let's go back to that non-block by Johnny Thomas.
It should have been a block punt by Johnny Thomas. Well, I think he's just absolutely surprised. I mean, he comes in here and just lets up. But he could have blocked this thing easily, a Berger. I mean, he just is surprised. I mean, it looks like he just got caught buying stamps from Dan Rostenkowski. Just surprised.
Second down. I'm not going to touch that one. Second down and 7. Elliott goes in motion. I'll give you your phone number in a minute. There's a pass intended for Brian Mitchell, incomplete. We're going to go downstairs for a moment. Here's Kevin Kiley.
Well, Gary, I have to tell you, the special teams play you just talked about with Johnny Thomas, there's going to be a lot of tough plays on special teams and at the line of scrimmage. It's rainy, it's windy, it's definitely going to affect the rest of this game. It's getting real wet and real tough playing conditions down here. Back to you.
Okay, stay dry down there.
You know, Kevin, you're right. I mean, this is a real test not only for Heath Schuler to bring his team from behind to play in some bad weather that he's going to see a lot in December.
Washington has not converted a 3rd down tonight. They're 0 for 4. Byron Evans got this Schuler. He got rid of it. And we're waiting. Is there going to be intentional grounding? No, he must have been outside the tackles and got it near the line of scrimmage. And so to bring up a 4th down instead.
You know, it's one thing to blitz, but to have the timing on the blitz as well as Byron Evans did there. I mean, that was a perfectly timed blitz right here by Byron Evans. Now the back tries to get a piece of him. Now, 2 rules on that. You have to be outside the tackle, and the ball has to be thrown at or near the line of scrimmage.
And he accomplished both of those as Roby now comes in and hits this one. Seidler inside the 25, trying to get to the wall, to the 30, 35, 40, and knocked down at the 41. Govea flying over, made the stop there. 52-yard punt, but an 18-yard return by Seidler. The Eagles lead it by 1 when we return. With Kevin Kiley and Pat Hayden, I'm Gary Bender. As we have 11:05 left in the 3rd. I think our blimp is still up there. I don't know. The weather the way it is, it sure is. There's a Goodyear blimp, Stars and Stripes. The Goodyear blimps are now in their 4th decade of live sports coverage. Pretty good shot with all that weather, the rain, the wind blowing. As we come back at the 40-yard line, Randall Cunningham and the Eagles have the football, protecting a 1-point lead.
This is a game where the Redskins defense has kept them in this ball game. Now, it is a 1-point game, and you got a kicker that's struggling, but it's time for Randall Cunningham to get something done here for the Eagles.
Reese Johnson in motion, get to Carter off tackle, bounces off of people to the 45. This guy is fun to watch. Makes it to the 48, a gain of 8. It'll be 2nd and 2.
You know, Gary, I think he bounced off the tackle of Tyrone Stowe, the middle linebacker of Washington. And that's a guy generally, when he hits you, you go down. Number 90 in the middle of your screen is going to get a pretty good shot at him. But he just bounces right off that. Generally, when Stowe hits you, you go backwards. So, I mean, he's run outside, and there's a little face mask they didn't call. He can run short yardage plays. And they can run, you know, he's getting everything that's there, that's blocked, plus an extra 2 or 3 yards.
2nd and 2. Calvin Williams in motion. Garner again, and this time he's cut down. A good play by Stowe. You know, you were mentioning how Stowe hits people. When Joe Bugel was the head coach of then the Phoenix Cardinals, he used to call him a Stowe. In other words, the guys that had the big hits, the big bone-crunching hits, they called him a Stowe.
Yeah, no, when he hits you, generally you're going to go backwards. And that time it was a great little run blitz by Stowe.
3rd down, still 2 yards to go. To Garner, waiting for the blocking to form, and he's tackled, but he got the 1st down. Tony Woods caught him around the shoulder pads, able to bulldog him down, but Garner showing some pretty good strength. Got the necessary yardage for the 1st down.
There were some big old offensive linemen coming around that right side. You see Broderick Thompson and Lester Holmes. I mean, there were some guys, the defensive backs, trying to hide.
You know, you look at the years of following the Eagles, Pat, the offensive line has always been a suspect area.
Yeah.
Boy, it's coming on now. This is going to be a good one.
It is solidified. They have got, as you mentioned, those 3 number 1s, and they're coming on. Bernard Williams, a left tackle in particular, started from day 1.
1st down at the 48 of Washington. Little half roll now being flushed out. Cunningham double pumping and incomplete. Barnett made a move inside. The ball was thrown behind him. That's one time that they weren't on the same page. Right now, Randall's 16 of 29, 164 yards. He has suffered an interception.
Yeah, he also has run for a touchdown, a 20-yard touchdown. But, you know, they haven't been in rhythm and sync like they were against San Francisco last week when they came out and, you know, they scored those 40 points. Everything seemed to work. I mean, they just haven't quite gotten that same rhythm they had a week ago.
2nd and 10. Little movement that time before the snap of the ball. Looked like the left side line. Antone Davis, maybe Williams, the rookie.
And that's why, Gary, we were talking at the very beginning of this broadcast, the NFL is an every week kind of business. And you can't be up and down, or you're not going to be a playoff team.
Before the snap, 74 offense.
That is Williams, the rookie, all 6'8", 317 pounds, out of Georgia.
And the other thing we said is at the beginning of the show that Randall Cunningham doesn't feel like he has to win it all by himself, and he uses a lot of different people. Look what's happened. First game was Calvin Williams with 5, then Barnett, then Joseph. Calvin Williams again tonight. It's Herschel Walker.
Calvin Williams had 9 catches, and you can see there for 122 yards last week in Candlestick. 2nd down and 15. Randall finds some time, and it's intercepted. Beautiful interception by Darrell Green, and Green with the pick, his 1st of the year, his 4th in his career against Randall Cunningham.
That was a design roll left by Randall Cunningham, but once again, that's what Ron Lynn, the defensive coordinator of the Redskins, would like to see. Him moving to his left. That one he threw off his back foot. Got some pressure from Leonard Marshall, number 70. And Leonard Marshall was in his face. And again, the catch-up and recovery speed of Darrell Green. Some say maybe he's lost a step, but tonight he has hung with Fred Barnett on 2 deep patterns, and that time steps in front of Victor Bailey for an interception.
Well, the Eagles came in here the lowest number of turnovers with 1 interception and 2 fumbles. Tonight, Cunningham has suffered 2 interceptions. First down for the 42. Schuler trying to take advantage. He pulls it down. Nice sidestep move. William Thomas tackles him. Hey, he gave him a leg, took it away, continued up the field, and picked up some yardage.
Well, he may have just didn't get all the leg back, you see.
Pretty good job that time, though. Picking up 6 yards.
You know, Norv Turner said about him that, hey, he's got some mobility. He's a strong guy with a strong arm. He's kind of a blitz situation. He's not an easy guy to bring down. He's going to go through some arm tackles, but not one from William Thomas.
And off to Irvin's Ricky Irvin. First forward 3rd. He's got the first down to the 45. Kevin Kiley on the sideline tells us that right now the Redskins with a wind to their back on this drive, as we have now 7:56 left in the 3rd. The Redskins trailing by 1, 7-6, missing a point after at the end of the first half.
Yeah, watch this offensive line here. This is John Giesecke, the center. He's just going to